Welcome to Stoic with You, where we embark on a journey of wisdom, growth, and timeless Stoic teachings. Today, we're diving into 7 Stoic lessons you must learn before you die. A topic that might make you pause, reflect, and maybe even challenge what you think you know about life. Let's be honest, life is short, unpredictable, and full of distractions pulling us away from what truly matters. But what if I told you that by embracing just 7 powerful ideas, you could live a life of deeper meaning, resilience, and inner peace? Sounds intriguing, right? These lessons are not about sugarcoating reality or offering some shallow, feel-good advice. Instead, they're grounded in the raw, unfiltered truths of Stoic philosophy. Truths that have guided thinkers, leaders, and seekers of wisdom for over 2 millennia. Think of these lessons as a compass. They won't tell you exactly what to do, but they'll guide you through the chaos, helping you navigate challenges, find clarity, and live intentionally. From stepping out of your comfort zone to letting go of toxic expectations, these lessons have the potential to reshape how you approach everything: your work, relationships, and even how you view yourself. But here's the thing: learning these lessons isn't always comfortable. They'll ask you to challenge deeply ingrained beliefs, confront fears, and embrace the beauty of impermanence. Growth, as the Stoics remind us, often comes from discomfort. Before we dive into these transformative ideas, let me ask you, what's holding you back from living the life you truly deserve? Is it fear, doubt, or maybe the need for control? Whatever it is, let's tackle it together, one Stoic principle at a time. If this resonates with you, and I'm sure it will, take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this journey with someone who needs it. Together, we can cultivate a life rooted in purpose, strength, and wisdom. Now, let's not waste another moment. Time, as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, is one of the few things we truly own. So let's get started on these 7 lessons that can transform not just how you live, but how you thrive. Lesson 1. Stepping out of your comfort zone. All right, my fellow Stoics, it's time to face the truth. Your comfort zone is killing you. That might sound harsh, but let's not sugarcoat it. How many dreams have you buried because the thought of change scared you? How many mornings have you woken up feeling stuck, dreading the day ahead because you've settled for a life that's comfortable? Let me tell you something. Comfort is a slow, silent poison. It whispers to you, stay here, it's safe, don't take risks. And before you know it, years have slipped by and your potential, your fire, is gone. Let's get brutally honest. Comfort doesn't care about your dreams, your happiness, or your growth. It only cares about keeping you in the same place, day after day, until it's too late. I know, because I've been there. I remember a time when I let fear keep me stuck in a job that drained my soul. I convinced myself that staying put was the smart thing to do. But every night, I lay awake, feeling like my life was slipping away. Sound familiar? The Stoics didn't believe in living small, and neither should you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that. What you're avoiding, the fear, the uncertainty, the failure, is the very thing that can transform you. The obstacle isn't the enemy. The obstacle is the path. So let me ask you, what's keeping you trapped right now? Is it fear of failure? Fear of judgment? Or maybe it's the lie that you're not ready yet? Whatever it is, let me tell you something you might not want to hear. You're never going to feel ready. Growth doesn't wait for permission. Life doesn't wait for you to feel comfortable. It's time to stop lying to yourself. You don't have infinite time. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the further you drift from the life you're capable of living. And that's not just a tragedy. It's a betrayal of yourself. You are capable of so much more than this. Here's the thing. Stepping out of your comfort zone doesn't mean you have to leap off a cliff. Start with a step. Take a cold shower tomorrow morning. Not because it's fun, but because it's hard. Speak up in that meeting you've been dreading. Take a class in something you've always wanted to learn. Each small act of courage chips away at the walls of fear you've built around yourself. I know it's scary. I know the idea of failure feels unbearable, but let me tell you, failure isn't the end. Failure is the beginning. I've failed more times than I can count, and every single time I came out stronger. The discomfort? That's where the magic happens. That's where you grow. So here's my challenge to you. Stop waiting. Stop making excuses. The life you deserve, the one filled with purpose, courage, and meaning, isn't going to wait for you to feel ready. It starts the moment you decide to step out of your comfort zone. What are you going to do today to break free? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your stories. Let's hold each other accountable, because none of us should settle for a life of quiet desperation. It's time to rise. It's time to live. Lesson 2. Expectation is the root of misery. Think about the last time you felt disappointed, angry, or heartbroken. It wasn't just because of what happened. It was because you expected something else. Someone to act a certain way, life to unfold according to your plans, or the world to work on your terms. Let me ask you this. How's that been working out for you? Here's the hard truth. Expectation is a trap you set for yourself. You think you're in control, but all you're doing is building a fragile house of cards, hoping reality won't knock it down. Spoiler alert, reality always wins. Life doesn't owe you anything. People don't owe you anything. And the sooner you accept that, the freer you'll be. I've been there too. For years, I set sky-high expectations for myself, my relationships, and my career. I told myself, if I work hard, things will go my way. If I'm kind, people will treat me well. But life doesn't follow that script. Promotions didn't come. Relationships fell apart. And every time my expectations crumbled, I felt like the world had betrayed me. But you know what? The world wasn't the problem. I was. Let me be clear. I'm not saying you should settle for mediocrity or stop striving for what you want. What I'm saying is that clinging to rigid expectations guarantees suffering. When you demand that life bends to your will, you set yourself up for frustration. But when you learn to let go, to adapt, to flow with what happens, you unlock peace. Epictetus put it best. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The Stoics understood that freedom comes from focusing on what you can control. And guess what? You can't control how people behave, how life unfolds, or what the future holds. But you can control how you respond. So how do you stop being a slave to your expectations? Start by lowering them. Not in a pessimistic way, but in a realistic way. Stop expecting people to read your mind. Stop expecting success to come quickly. Stop expecting the world to be fair. Instead, focus on appreciating what is, not lamenting what isn't. Here's a personal tip. Every time you feel disappointment creeping in, pause and ask yourself, what was I expecting? 9 times out of 10, the pain comes from the gap between your expectation and reality. Close that gap and you'll find peace. It's not easy, I know. Letting go of expectations feels like losing control. But here's the secret. You never had control in the first place. Life is unpredictable. People are flawed. Things change. The only thing you truly control is how you choose to face it all. So, stop wasting your energy clinging to a fantasy version of how things should be. Embrace what is. There's freedom in surrender. There's power in acceptance. And there's wisdom in realizing that the only thing life owes you is the opportunity to live it fully, without the weight of expectations dragging you down. What expectation are you ready to let go of today? Let me know in the comments, and let's support each other in breaking free from this cycle of disappointment. Remember, life isn't about controlling everything. It's about learning to thrive in the chaos. That's where true peace lies. Lesson 3. Friends are not forever, my fellow Stoics. Let's face a hard truth for Lesson 3. Friendships are not forever. I know that stings. We're taught from a young age that true friends stick with you through thick and thin, that some bonds are unbreakable. But life doesn't work that way. People change, circumstances shift, and sometimes the person you thought would be by your side forever becomes a stranger. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? But here's the thing. It's not your fault, and it's not theirs. It's just life. Think about it. How many friends from childhood, high school, or college are still part of your life? If you're honest, the answer is probably not many. I get it. There was a time when I clung to fading friendships, desperate to hold on to what once was. I blamed myself, blamed them, and wondered what I could have done differently. But you know what? Friendship, like everything else in life, is impermanent. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept everything which happens, even if it seems disagreeable, because it leads to the health of the universe." That includes the natural fading of relationships. Friendships aren't failures just because they end. They're chapters in your story. Some longer than others, but all meaningful in their own time. Let me share something personal. One of my closest friendships from college felt unshakable. We shared dreams, laughed until we cried, and promised we'd always stay in touch. But as life pulled us in different directions, our connection faded. At first, I fought it. I sent messages, tried to meet up, tried to revive what we had, but it wasn't the same, and it hurt. I felt like I was losing a part of myself. But over time, I realized something. That friendship wasn't meant to last forever, and that's okay. It had served its purpose. It was beautiful while it lasted, and its ending didn't erase its value. So, how do we navigate the pain of friendships fading? First, stop blaming yourself. It's not about you failing or them failing. It's about life evolving. Appreciate the memories you've shared. Hold them close, but don't cling to them. And most importantly, don't let the fear of losing friendships stop you from forming new ones. Here's another tough truth. You can't hold on to everyone. Trying to keep every relationship alive will drain you. Instead, focus on quality over quantity. Invest in friendships that nurture your growth, that bring joy and depth into your life. But also be prepared to let go when the time comes. It's not about abandoning people. It's about understanding that some connections are meant to be temporary. And remember this: you are your own best friend. Cultivate a relationship with yourself that is strong, supportive, and unwavering. Because at the end of the day, you're the one constant in your life. So my challenge to you is this: let go of the guilt, the regret, and the need to keep every friendship alive. Cherish the ones that remain, honor the ones that have passed, and be open to the new connections waiting for you. What's one friendship that has shaped you, even if it didn't last? Share it with me in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Let's remind each other that endings aren't failures. They're just part of the journey. Life moves forward, and so should we. All right, my fellow Stoics, let's take a moment for something a little personal, shall we? I want to address something that's been on my mind. Straight up, no sugarcoating. According to the stats, only 7% of you watching this video are subscribed to the channel or have hit the like button. I have to be honest, I don't quite understand what's happening here. Is it me? Have I failed to inspire you? Have I not hit the mark or touched your heart in the way I hoped? If that's the case, please, I'm begging for your honesty. Drop a comment with a 1 if you think I need to improve the content. Seriously, your feedback is gold to me. It's the only way I can get better and deliver something truly valuable to you. But if it's not me, and maybe it's just the habit of scrolling by without engaging, then I humbly ask you, take a second to hit that like button or subscribe. That small action means everything to the growth and survival of this channel. It's how you show your support for this community and ensure we can continue sharing these Stoic lessons together. So please, don't hesitate. I'll be grateful for whatever you decide to do, whether it's a thumbs up, a subscription, or some brutally honest feedback. Just know that every bit of engagement makes a huge difference. Let's grow together, not just in wisdom, but in action. Thank you for being here, thank you for your support, and thank you for your honesty. I appreciate you, always, and we will talk about the next lesson. Lesson 4, sacrifice is essential. Let's talk about this. Nothing worth having comes without sacrifice. That's not an easy truth to swallow, is it? We live in a world that constantly screams, you can have it all, comfort and success, pleasure and growth. But let's be real, that's a lie. Everything meaningful in life, whether it's a fulfilling career, a strong relationship, or personal growth, demands sacrifice. If you're not willing to give something up, you'll never gain anything of real value. Think about it. How often do we fool ourselves into thinking we can have the rewards without paying the price? We want to be fit without sacrificing indulgent foods or lazy weekends. We want to be successful without giving up our comfort zones. We want deep connections, but aren't willing to be vulnerable. Let me tell you, you can't have it both ways. The path to anything meaningful is paved with sacrifice. Let me get personal. Years ago, I was stuck in a job that paid well, offered stability, and looked great on paper. But every day, I felt my soul shrinking. Deep down, I knew I wanted more, but leaving meant sacrificing the comfort of a steady paycheck and the security of a predictable future. I agonized over the decision for months. The fear was paralyzing. What if I failed? What if I regretted it? Eventually, I made the leap. I gave up the financial security, the comfort, and the sense of safety. And let me tell you, it was terrifying. I struggled. I failed. But each failure taught me resilience. Each struggle pushed me closer to who I wanted to become. That sacrifice wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Without it, I'd still be trapped in a life I didn't love. So let me ask you, what are you holding on to right now that's keeping you from the life you truly want? Is it comfort, fear of change, the illusion of control? Whatever it is, you have to be willing to let it go. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. Growth, achievement, and meaning require that you endure discomfort and give up the easy path. Here's the thing, sacrifice isn't about loss, it's about prioritization. It's about trading something lesser for something greater. It's saying, I'm willing to give up this temporary comfort for a lifetime of fulfillment. But let's not romanticize it. Sacrifice hurts. It's supposed to. That's the point. The pain of sacrifice is what sharpens you, shapes you, and prepares you for the rewards on the other side. The question isn't whether it will hurt. The question is whether it's worth it. Start small. Identify one thing you've been clinging to out of fear or convenience. Maybe it's a habit that's holding you back, a relationship that's draining you, or a routine that's keeping you stuck. Decide to let it go. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. Every step you take toward sacrifice is a step closer to your true potential. So let me ask you again, what are you willing to sacrifice for the life you deserve? What's one thing you can give up today to make space for something greater? Share it in the comments. I want to hear your stories. Remember, sacrifice isn't about what you lose, it's about what you gain. It's the price of greatness, and it's one worth paying. Lesson 5. Stop chasing love. Stop chasing love. I know, that sounds harsh. We've been raised on stories, movies, and songs that tell us love is out there waiting to be found. That if we just search hard enough, fight hard enough, we'll find the one who completes us. But let's face the truth. The harder you chase love, the more it eludes you. Think about it. How many times have you bent over backward for someone only to feel unappreciated? How often have you changed yourself, your habits, your dreams, your boundaries, just to make someone stay? And when it didn't work, you probably blamed yourself, didn't you? You thought, if only I had tried harder, been better, done more. Let me tell you right now, it's not your fault. The problem isn't you. The problem is chasing something that isn't meant to be pursued. Love, real love, doesn't come from searching, begging, or molding yourself into what you think someone else wants. It comes when you're busy living your best life, when you're focused on your growth, your happiness, and your purpose. The Stoics understood this long before we did. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That includes love. Let me share something personal. There was a time when I believed love was the missing piece in my life. I went on dates, twisted myself into knots trying to be good enough, and chased relationships that were never meant for me. The harder I tried, the more empty I felt. It wasn't until I stopped chasing love and started focusing on myself, my growth, my passions, that things began to change. And guess what? That's when the right kind of love found me. Not because I was looking for it, but because I was finally whole on my own. So here's the truth you need to hear. You don't need someone to complete you. You're already whole. When you stop chasing love, you give yourself the chance to become the person you were meant to be. And that person is magnetic. That person naturally attracts the right kind of love, the kind that's based on mutual respect and shared values, not desperation or fear. What should you do instead of chasing love? Love yourself. Invest in your growth. Pursue your dreams. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, not drain you. Build a life so fulfilling that love becomes a beautiful addition, not a desperate need. Let me ask you this. Are you chasing love because you feel incomplete? Because you're scared of being alone? If so, it's time to flip the script. Embrace your solitude. Find strength in your independence. And trust that the right love will come when you're too busy living to even notice. Tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're going to do today to stop chasing and start living? Let's hold each other accountable. Remember, love isn't something you catch, it's something that finds you when you're ready to receive it. Let it come to you naturally, without force. and I promise it will be worth the wait. Lesson 6. The majority is often wrong. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's right. Here's the thing. Most people are wrong about most things, most of the time. That might sound harsh, but take a good look around you. How many times has the majority led people down the wrong path? History is packed with examples: witch hunts, slavery, harmful social norms, things that the majority thought were fine, even right at the time. Let me be blunt. Conformity is easy, but it's dangerous. It's tempting to follow the crowd, to believe what everyone else believes because it feels safe. But safe doesn't mean true, and popular doesn't mean right. The Stoics knew this. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." That means living with integrity, even when it's unpopular. Let me share something personal. There was a time in my life when I was obsessed with fitting in, doing what everyone else did, saying what everyone else said. I thought that by blending in, I'd be accepted, even admired. But you know what I found? I was miserable. Pretending to be someone you're not to please people who don't truly care about you? It's exhausting. The truth is, standing out takes courage. Thinking for yourself takes courage. And let me tell you, courage isn't always fun. It's lonely sometimes. You might lose people who don't understand you. But here's the payoff. You gain yourself. You gain a life built on authenticity and truth, not on pretending to be someone you're not. So let me ask you, how often do you just go along with the crowd? How many of your opinions are really yours, and how many have you adopted because it's easier than questioning them? Be honest with yourself, because if you're not, who will be? Here's a tip. Next time you find yourself agreeing with the majority, pause. Ask yourself, why do I believe this? Is it because I've thought it through, or is it because everyone else says it's true? Dig deeper. Seek out different perspectives. Read widely, not just what reinforces your beliefs. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, not just those who agree with you. Remember, the Stoics didn't aim to be popular. They aimed to be virtuous. Marcus Aurelius said, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." So don't be afraid to stand alone if it means standing for what's right. What's one belief you've never questioned? What's one area where you followed the crowd without thinking twice? Share it in the comments. Let's start challenging ourselves and each other to think critically, to live authentically, and to stand firmly in our truth. The majority might be loud, but you don't have to let it drown out your voice. Lesson 7. Patience is power. All right, my friends, let's talk about Lesson 7. Patience is power. I know, you've heard it before. Good things take time. Patience is a virtue, blah, blah, blah. But let's be real. We live in a world that doesn't value patience. Everything is about instant gratification. Faster Wi-Fi, next day delivery, success in 30 days, or your money back. The problem is, this mindset is robbing us of the very things that matter most. Think about it. When was the last time you worked on something that truly required patience? Not something you could complete in a weekend or check off your to-do list in an afternoon. I'm talking about a goal, a dream, or a skill that took months, even years to build. If you're struggling to think of an example, don't feel bad. You're not alone. We've all been conditioned to expect results now. But here's the thing. Anything truly meaningful in life takes time. I had to learn this the hard way. There was a point in my life when I wanted everything immediately. Success in my career, clarity in my relationships, purpose in my life. I wanted it all, and I wanted it now. But every time I rushed, I stumbled. I made impulsive decisions. I burned out. And worst of all, I missed the beauty of the process. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen." Growth isn't a race, it's a process. So let me ask you, what are you rushing right now? Are you expecting instant success in your work? Immediate results in your self-improvement? A perfect relationship to fall into your lap? Be honest. Whatever it is, take a step back and ask yourself, why am I in such a hurry? Patience isn't passive. It's not about sitting around, waiting for things to magically happen. It's about persisting. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and trusting that the results will come when the time is right. It's about enduring the frustration of the wait because you know the reward will be worth it. And let's be clear, patience isn't easy. It's not glamorous, it's frustrating, boring, and sometimes downright painful. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. Because when you learn to embrace patience, you gain something most people never will: peace. The kind of peace that comes from knowing you're doing what you can, and that's enough. So here's my challenge for you. What's one area in your life where you need to practice patience? Maybe it's your career, maybe it's your health, maybe it's just learning to be kinder to yourself. Whatever it is, commit to the process. Stop focusing so much on the outcome and start finding joy in the journey. Tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're willing to slow down for? Let's hold each other accountable. Because in a world obsessed with instant results, patience isn't just a virtue, it's a superpower. So we've just journeyed through 7 powerful Stoic lessons. Lessons that challenge, inspire, and maybe even unsettle you. Let's face it, they aren't easy truths to accept. Growth never is. But if you're still here, still listening, it means you're ready to embrace the uncomfortable, to question what you've been taught, and to become a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Each lesson isn't just something to think about, it's a call to action. We've talked about stepping out of your comfort zone, letting go of expectations, accepting the impermanence of friendships, and understanding the necessity of sacrifice. We've explored why chasing love is futile, why the majority is often wrong, and why patience isn't just a virtue, but a source of power. What do all these lessons have in common? They remind us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we can't. They push us to live authentically, to face life with courage and wisdom, and to find strength in adversity. Let me be honest, you're not going to master these lessons overnight. They take time, practice, and a willingness to stumble along the way. And that's okay. As Marcus Aurelius said, don't be ashamed of needing help. You have a duty to fulfill, just like a soldier on the wall of battle. So what if you fall? Get back up. So what's next? Which lesson hit you the hardest? Which one are you going to start working on today? Don't let this be just another video you watch or another article you read. Make it count. Apply what you've learned, even if it's just one small step at a time. And if these lessons resonated with you, if they made you think, reflect, or even squirm a little, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need it. Your support isn't just a vote of confidence for this channel. It's a commitment to building a community of people who are ready to live with purpose and integrity. Thank you for walking this path with me. Keep growing, keep striving, and above all, keep practicing the art of living well. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and never stop seeking the truth.